Hola, hola, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo están? Hello, 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 hello from Oaxaca, Mexico. Hello, hello. I want to share a little bit of an update. So I'm looking here at my notes. It's been a while that I've been on live, but if you are watching, if you're listening, connect in. Happy holidays. Buenas tardes. Yes. My topic today is miracles do happen. Miracles do happen. I'm going to be sharing miracles. If you're joining in, say hi, give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're at. So I want to share more. Hi, who is that? Who is it? I see the thumbs up. Yeah. I want to encourage us. I also want to let you know some things that are happening that you may be interested in. But I want to talk about miracles, that miracles do happen. And here we are at the season of the Holy Light, the Holy Lights, this end of the year season. I could actually see and feel the hype, the hype going up. There was a time when I did not enjoy this time of the year. And through a series of events, things have changed. And so now I'm able to enjoy this time of the year without getting into the hype. Brown Girls Trade 2, yay, hi. Hi there, yeah, share this. I want to share, and I like your brand, Brown Girls Trade 2. I want to share, this is an impromptu Facebook Live. And I didn't want to get on. I just I don't want to go on. But here we are. It's just important that we share these messages, that we share with the world, because there's so much happening in the media. And remember, social media is the media that is negative, and so it's very important that we share some of the positive that's going on. So I invite you, I'm going to see if I could tag some people, because no one knew that I was going to be on here. Let's see. No, okay. Don't know how to tag here, but here we are. It's important that our voice gets heard. It's important that in the midst of all the hoopla and all the messages and all the millions of channels that are out there, it's important that we speak our truth. It's important that we speak our positive messages. It's important that we have our input, because everything that's being put on media, social media, is recorded forever. And whoever writes the story, whoever's telling the story, that's the story that's going to be told. I see someone else coming on. Hi, Kyla, hi, you had a baby, congratulations. So whoever's telling the story, it's recorded. Now it's recorded forever. And there's a lot of hidden stories that are true that are now coming to light, that the history was, when it was written a long time ago, and a lot of it was falsified. It wasn't true. It was just written through the eyes of the beholder, through the eyes of who was writing it. And now we have, hi, Mary Beth Restel, now we have the opportunity to tell our stories and to give our input. Thank you so much. Keep putting those hearts. Share this, please. It's so important that we share our stories and that we have an input and people hear our voice, especially if it's a positive, inspirational voice and story. Hi there. So the title of my live today is Miracles Do Happen. Miracles actually do happen. And if you've been waiting for a miracle in your life, whether it's a financial miracle or a miracle with a loved one or a miracle with your health or a miracle with your business, whatever that is, if you've been waiting and hoping and hoping and waiting, miracles do happen. And I'm going to tell, I have a lot of stories about miracles that I've kept here, and it's time to share. It's time to share the miracles. And if you have miracles, it's time for you to share your miracles, because it's going to encourage someone. It's going to bless someone. It's going to give hope to someone. And as I was saying earlier, whoever is telling the story, that's the story that gets recorded forever in a time capsule. Someone's going to look you up, like one of your progeny, somebody in your family, like 100 years from now, is going to look up your name and wonder what you had to say. So let us tell our stories. So I'm going to tell you this story up front. Back in the 90s, I had the opportunity and the honor and the blessing to go to Cuba. Now almost anyone can go to Cuba, but back then it was illegal to go to Cuba. And not only that, Cuba had totally crashed because Russia was supporting Cuba. It was a very symbiotic relationship, and because the U.S. was boycotting Cuba, it was a very strong relationship financially. It was a very strong relationship in so many ways. But when Russia pulled out, because there was the Iron Curtain came down, and Russia pulled out from supporting Cuba, Cuba went down fast. I mean, really went down fast. And when I went to visit Cuba, I went as a missionary. I went with a group of 40 people, and I went through Jamaica and into Cuba. So I went with this group, and I went in service. I went to serve. I figured, here are the leaders. I wasn't one of the leaders. And I went to serve the leaders and serve the people. That was my idea. That was how my heart was. I had fasted. I had fasted for about a week before that. And I had prayed so that I could be prepared to go to Cuba and serve. I was ready to clean and do anything that was necessary. I had and still have a very deep devotion to God. Even though I'm not in the church now, that's another story, but I have always had a very deep and unique, very close relationship to God. And so I would always be in prayer, and I would always be singing these beautiful songs to the angels. And when I got to Cuba, in Havana, the group, now at that time there were, communist police all over the place. They were always spying on us. It was so oppressive. And the Cuban people were and still are so beautiful and full of, just pride and everything. The regular Cuban people, not the government. But these officers were always spying on people and what were you doing and what were you giving out? Because we brought things for the people. We brought food, we brought clothing, we brought shoes, we brought toiletries, we brought candy for the kids, we brought a lot of things to encourage the people. So this group I was with, the big group of 40, decided to stay in Havana. And there was a church out on the western tip of Cuba that was asking who would come out there to help them. And I raised my hand because I'm in service. And I went, again, with the intention to serve. And there's so much to the story, but I'm going to tell you this part. I was invited. At that time, they had house churches, because churches were not legal in Cuba. But the people had churches, and they were desperate because there was no food, hardly any food. It was broken pieces of rice. People were on rations. Their ration was this. Hi, Marie Hoffman. The ration was this. There was like a cup full of broken rice, a cup full of beans, a bread per person, one bread per person, like a little bun per person. And if you were growing your own chickens, it was illegal. So, because I couldn't figure it out, I said, well, just grow your own food and grow your own chicken, and then you can eat. But that was illegal. There were no Kyla, imagine no diapers for your baby. There were no diapers, no vitamins, no medicine. If you had a serious situation going on medically, there was no anesthesia. There was nothing. It was bad. It was bad. I don't know how it is now. I've met a few Cubans. I heard there's still some problems now, but it was bad. And when I went out there, hi, Naomi, Legros. So when our group went out there, on the way there, there was no gas. The gas was highly, highly rationed. So even our group, when we were traveling out there, we had special permission, but we got stopped. We were stopped by the communist patrol. And it was kind of scary when you have guns in your face and you don't know what's going on. So remember, there was like 5 of us who went out there, 35 of the group stayed in Havana, where a lot of the action was happening. Nobody wanted to go out to the boonies, but I went with the group, and we took some supplies, and we went to encourage the people. So this is about miracles do happen. Because right now, in the world, the way we are right now, we need miracles. We need miracles. In the last week, I've been talking to several one-on-one of my sisters, many sisters that I know who are struggling. They're struggling. They're struggling with emotion. They're struggling with finance. They're just struggling. And, I was thinking about it. I'm like, wow, people, and they were telling me what was going on in their area. I'm like, people are really having, a tough time. So we went out to this place, and I met a gentleman in the street because they were so excited that people were coming to their area and coming to their house church. And Now imagine a small house packed out with people. Because when you don't have much, when your whole world falls apart, and it's not just your family's world that's falling apart. Hi, Brian Grow. When it's the whole country is falling apart, and if you speak out, you're going to be arrested and put in prison. You need a miracle. So the people in Cuba, when I went, were in deep, deep, deep prayer. So even though the churches were illegal, people were gathering in houses. And there were so many people gathering in these house churches that they had to extend the houses. They had to build out the houses. And the house churches, there were people out in the street. So when you hear about a house church in Cuba, it's a person's house where people are gathering, and it's packed out with people who are wanting to hear a word of encouragement, a word of inspiration, a word that's going to say, we're going to get through this. So I'm not talking about religion here right now. I'm talking about people's deep need for miracles, and miracles do happen. So I went out there, and I'm thinking a house church. I'm thinking, a little house, maybe about 5, 10, 15, 20 people. There were over 300 people at this house church coming to hear us speak. There were people out in the street. There were people out in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in each and every room. It was just amazing. All the ministers of that area came to the house church. So as I was approaching this house church, again, I'm thinking, small little gathering, I met a gentleman, and he starts talking to me in Spanish, and he's telling me about the serious conditions that were happening. And he told me this. He told me that he had a big ball, a big, huge tumor. Hi, Kathy Hampton. A tumor like the size of a big baseball in his intestines. Now, I was looking. I didn't see anything. But that's the miracle. He said, the other day, I had this tumor. And because of the medical situation in Cuba at the time, remember, no anesthesia, none of the regular thing, no Band-Aids, no alcohol, things we take for granted. They had none at that time because Russia had pulled out and they had no supplies. So he had this huge tumor, and he was very, very, in a lot of pain. And he told me that one night, while he was sleeping, he said an angel came. And he said he thought he was dreaming. And the angel went into his body and pulled out the tumor. And then he woke up. And the only thing he had left was a drain. It was like drainage. It was liquid draining out of the side where he had the tumor. So that's a miracle. And more of these types of miracles are going to be happening because the condition in the world, most on this live are probably doing relatively well compared to what's going on in a lot of the parts of the world and the stories that I hear. So that was a miracle. When he told me the story, I'm like, what? What? So he had a miracle. He had no other recourse. He couldn't eat. Couldn't go to the bathroom. He was in a lot of pain. And an angel came in the middle of the night and pulled out the tumor, went into his body, into his intestines, and pulled it out. And he had, he showed me. He showed me scar. He showed me the healing, and it had dried. The draining had dried up. So that was one of the miracles I heard about while I was there. So I continued going to the church, the house church, I'm thinking is a little teeny church in the house with a few people. Get there, and hundreds of people were there was all these people in the street as our little group of 5 were going into this house church. I'm like, what the heck? So I entered the house church with the others. Again, I was there just to serve, and this message is about miracles do happen. I was there just to serve. I was there in humility. I was there with a humble heart. And I could see the suffering of the people. I could see it on their faces. And because I spoke Spanish, they invited me up to the podium. I wasn't expecting to speak. I wasn't expecting to do any preaching or teaching in Spanish. But I went up. I greeted the people in Spanish, and they were so attentive, because when you're in a desperate situation, you're looking to hear words of hope and inspiration. Words of hope and inspiration to relieve the suffering. So I get up on the podium that they had. They took this house, and there was always so many hundreds of people coming to their little house. They expanded it out. They built a podium. They actually built a house church. It was pretty amazing. Went up, and I'm like, what the heck am I going to say? And I raised my hand up, both hands up to the heavens. I closed my eyes, and this most beautiful heavenly song came out. And gratitude and thanking God for all the wonders of life. My heart opened and just began to sing this beautiful song in an unknown language, which they call it the songs of the Lord. And both hands were up like that. My head was up. I still had not greeted the people, because I just went up and I said, well, let me greet God first. The heavens opened. And when I opened my eyes, in the building itself, in the church itself, there must have been seated about 300 people. I don't know how they did that. And then outside, there were another couple hundred. When I opened my eyes, a third of the people inside were knocked out on the floor. They were knocked out. I opened my eyes, I'm saying to myself, what the heck happened? They were people sprawled all over on the ground, knocked out. And I'm noticing this, and then I started to greet the people, because I wasn't there to preach or anything. I wasn't the main preacher, but I began to greet the people, and then the leaders asked me to lay hands on their leaders, because they can see that something miraculous was happening. And even though I wasn't expecting to do all that, all these words and language came out as I put my hands on each person, and those leaders got knocked out. Boom, on the floor, boom. They looked like they were unconscious. And when I finally completed that, because after I was complete, there was no teaching, there was no preaching, because a miracle had just happened. There were no words after that. A miracle had just happened, and I'm like, why are these people falling out like this? Those who were laid out like that, most of them had a physical healing. The reports came back, most of them had a physical, miraculous healing. Miracles do happen. And when people are desperate, when people are suffering and there's no way out, they call on the divine, they call on God, and then the angels come and they grant their wishes. They touch the lives of the people. Now, how do I know they got healed? Well, I stepped down, I was guided down, escorted down from where I was standing. And a gentleman on the side said to me, when you lifted your hands up like that, he said, like a stream like lightning came down and shot out through my hands to the people. I have become a vessel for healing and miracles. So miracles do happen. And I'm wondering, why are we not seeing miracles today? Why are we not seeing miracles regularly in the United States, in the Western world? Why are we not seeing miracles regularly, on a regular basis? Why are so many of us internally wondering, when is this thing going to break? When are my desires going to be fulfilled? When is this relationship going to be healed? When am I going to get out of debt? When is my body going to be healed? When? People are waiting. But the reason why that happened in Cuba is because they were desperate. They didn't have anything. Remember, their ration was a cup of cracked rice, a little bit of beans, and I saw the ration lines. I couldn't believe it, like long ration lines in empty grocery stores, empty stores. But this is what was being handed out. You couldn't grow your own chickens. And I was so touched because, hi Haywood Hall, hi Janine Ward. I was so touched because after this happened, the main ministers, the main pastor of that area, Pinar de Rios, I think it's called, Pinar de Rios, the western part of Cuba, they invited us to their home. And they brought their rations to feed us. The ministers and the neighbors brought their rations to feed us. And somebody had an illegal chicken, and they fed us with the little bitty they had. So miracles do happen. And right now it's time for more miracles to happen. I'm here in Oaxaca, Mexico. By the grace of God, sent me here at the very beginning of the pandemic. And so many miracles have happened while I've been here. I now live in a very beautiful home and very beautiful conditions, and it's a miracle after miracle after miracle of how I'm here. And I'm here serving the people. There are hundreds and hundreds of migrant families passing through on their way, leaving their countries, Venezuela mainly, Honduras, these countries that are having a lot of difficulties. They're leaving their countries because not enough food. Hi, Sherry Gaskin. Not enough food. People who had good professions who are being extorted and robbed and threatened and killed. Dangerous. And they come with their families, little chiquititos. They come together, hundreds every day, passing through Oaxaca. And on the way here, many of them get robbed. Then they come here with hardly anything, and they're on their way to the U.S. trying to find a better life. And I get to serve. I get to bless them. They're angels. To me, they're angels. But we need some miracles because it's not just happening here. As I hear and talk to people from around the world, it's happening in a lot of places. And yes, there are some places that are prospering and doing well, and I bless them, and I can, because that's what we need. We need people doing well and being blessed and being prosperous and being wealthy who are conscious with the right hearts to turn this situation around. Miracles do happen. And even wealthy people need miracles because money doesn't buy a lot of, money's not going to buy your health. You'll use all your money to get healthy, right? So we need miracles. And I want to share with you this because I've got so many miracle stories to tell. Not only what has happened with me personally, supernatural stories. And so do you. And it's so important that we share and tell the stories and record them, and especially on these platforms we have, because it's a time capsule. And people are going to be looking for you, and they're looking for hope, especially in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, people find me in the middle of the night on YouTube saying, I was so depressed after my father died. I mean, these are stories after story. After my father died, and I was so depressed, and I'm thinking of killing myself, but I found your YouTube. So what has happened with me recently here in Oaxaca, I spend a lot of time in study and in prayer and in meditation. And in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock, I'm up. I'm up. I'm making sure my mind is right. I'm connecting with the other side. I'm doing my mantras and my chants to make sure my mind is right. And my teacher, my guru, is Dr. Pillai, PillaiCentral.com. And what he is teaching and what he is sharing and these powerful mantras that change your mind and change your consciousness is amazing. I mean, what's happened in my life is just an acceleration. And he's a siddha. A siddha is an enlightened master with the power to create miracles. So that's my teacher. The power to create miracles, and we need miracles right now. So what happened this past week, in my 3 o'clock in the morning time, I could see these siddha masters, very advanced beings. And a few of them, a couple of them, there were about 2 or 3, two of them were masculine, one was feminine, said to me, you need to reach more people. You need to reach many more people. Because the work I've been doing, I actually like working with just small little groups. But they said to me, you need to reach many, many more people through these platforms and mediums because we need miracles. We need miracles now. How many of you need a miracle? Put a thumbs up. Give me a heart. If you need a miracle, maybe a child is wayward. Maybe you've got a health issue. Maybe it's a financial issue. Maybe it's something that just won't break, just won't crack, just won't go away. I see those hearts. I see that. It's just that you've done everything. You've done everything you know to do. You've done your prayers, you've done your offerings, you've done it, and that thing just won't crack. You've done your fasting. You've done your health. It won't go away. That's when we need a miracle and an intervention. That's when we need something that's less, hola. We've got Maestro Lucho Pandura de Peru. De Peru? Eres de Peru? He's a beautiful, beautiful. Hi, Shari Jacoby, Priestess Shari Jacoby from Wisconsin at the Yurt. Maestro Lucho is the one who introduced me to ayahuasca, which I didn't believe in at one time, and now I understand the beauty of sacred medicines. I understand the intelligence of these plants to heal us. There's an intelligence in the plants to heal us. Maybe that's how you get your miracle. Maybe it's through plant medicines that you get your miracle. But we do need miracles right now. And what's happening now, the era that we're in right now, where things, I avoid the media. I've got enough reality going on around me where I can serve without pulling in any of the media. But I do know that there are major things going on in the world that are affecting the dynamics and the balance of millions of people who are suffering. And we need a miracle. We need the intervention from the other side, the side that most people can't see. We need an intervention to crack open, to do something different. And that's the age we're in right now. We're right. My teacher says that we're going into this new, I don't know how to say it because I'm still learning a lot. It's a new, because there was the Kali Yuga, and now there's this other time frame that's happening in, that's actually the golden age. It's actually very beautiful, and we can step into it, and we can experience the acceleration of miracles. We can experience the acceleration of healing. We can experience the acceleration of things coming into place, and the things that we've been waiting for. Oh man, how long have we been waiting for something to crack open? I know I have. Hola Meta, beautiful Meta. She's a doula, and she's been helping a lot with the migrant families because there are pregnant women coming through. There are pregnant women coming through the migrant families, sleeping on cold concrete floors outside. So she and a team of other doulas have been great blessing helping. And again, that's where we need miracles. So I want to encourage you right now. I will be sharing more broadly, more widely, because that's what I've been called to, just like I did in Cuba. When I was in Cuba, there were like hundreds of people there. I thought it was going to be a little teeny little group. And there were hundreds of people who were hungry for inspiration, words of encouragement, words to say, we're going to get through this. Not just words, but action. They were like hungry for action to break the spell of what was happening in their country and in their lives. It was very oppressive in Cuba when I was there. Let me just give you one little example here, and then I'm going to wrap up. There was a boy, when I first got to Cuba, we stayed at a hotel, and, the communists knew we were there. They knew we were there. They were spying on all of us all the time. They were coming through the windows of people's hotel rooms in the middle of the night. So we were approached during one of our meals because people needed a miracle. And there was a little boy, the story I heard was that a little boy had got punctured in his leg with a fork. Now, if your son gets punctured, or Dr. Hayward here is here, he's a doctor here. If your son or doctor, if a patient comes to you with a puncture in their leg from a little boy, hi Cynthia Bird, with a fork, that's easy to treat here. It's easy to treat in Mexico, it's easy to treat in the US and Western worlds. But when your country has nothing because your supplies have been cut off from medical, now you're in trouble because there's no anesthesia. That puncture wound now becomes infected. The infection turns into gangrene. So this boy who was brought, we heard about him, and here was the condition. If he did not have the treatment, immediate treatment, they were going to have to cut off his leg without any anesthesia. I did not hear how that went, because I went out, to the country and served the people out there, so I don't know how that turned out. We need miracles, and I'm sharing here on Facebook because I won't be in this position of availability as much as I used to be, because I've been called to bring the messages to many more people through the media platforms. I'll be the small little groups I used to work with and the one-on-ones, there'll be less of that and more of touching the masses, blessing the masses. And I'm praying that I will be granted the gift of continuing to bring miracles to the lives of the people. The stories that I hear, not only from the migrant families, but the stories that I hear on every day, the stories that I hear from my sisters, because I work a lot with the women, from the men, the stories that I'm hearing, I'm like, dang. Because I hear the stories because they trust me. And I'm like, wow, I need some miracles. And at the same time, I have these tools through Dr. Pillai, who is a very advanced Siddha master who works with miracles. And so I'm able to bring these tools and offer these tools to the people. Because me and myself, I'm just a vessel. And I'm just a vessel of compassion and love and wisdom, because I'm wisdom medicine woman now in this mature age that I'm in, to bring tools and to give hope to the people and empower them to take a hold of those things that I share with them and then apply it so that they can work their own energy and work the miracles they need to work in their lives. That's where I'm at right now. I wanted to share that I have this is probably going to be the last year that I do this. I do New Year's candle blessings, New Year 2024 blessings, candle blessings, where I am in proxy. I do this for people, purchase the candles, do ceremonies around the area of wealth and prosperity. If you're interested in ordering one of these New Year's 2024 wealth blessing candles, send me a message to my Facebook. So that's number one, because I have 3 left. That's number one. Number 2, I still have the Pay What You Can intuitive readings, which are very powerful, very clear guidance to give you hope, encouragement, clarity, comfort, and prepare you again for the New Year's. I have 2 of those left. Please send me a message. I don't want them to just go. Sometimes people don't see the information, and that's why I want to make sure that you don't miss it. And number 3, I am preparing a wealth royalty gold consciousness coaching. It's like 3 sessions, either 1 or 3 sessions, to get you very, 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 very clear and focused, and to clear any blocks keeping you from your miracles, keeping you from your money, keeping you from your health, keeping you from your family. So I'm going to be sharing that in a little while. So keep in contact with me, because now there's something else happening that I've been called to. I've been called to work with thousands or more people on these platforms. I send you all love. I send you all blessings of abundance and peace and tranquility and joy and harmony and well-being. I send you the heart that is just wide open with compassion. I send you the greetings from the children of the migrant families, because even though they have had a rough journey to get to Mihai Seneca, to get to us here in Oaxaca, the children, the hearts of the children are still beautiful. They're like angels. And when they see us, when they see me, I know I've experienced it. They just come around me and surround me and hug me, and they're just full of joy. I'm like, wow. And most of them I've never seen before, because they're passing through. And they're so grateful for the banana, or grateful for the bubbles, or grateful for the smile, grateful for the little artwork that we do together. And their imagination is still high. They take the smallest little piece of stick. I remember watching one little boy, and he was imagining that he was a pilot. He had a little stick and a little teeny rock, and he was imagining that he was flying and he was a pilot. These children's hearts are still so beautiful and open, and they're suffering physically. And I see some coming through with sores that are easy to heal with a little bit of antibiotic. Horrible coughs because they're out in the elements. It's cold. And they don't have enough food. They're actually underweight. And yet their hearts are like angels. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to get on the Facebook Live another time, and I'm going to tell you miracles I've seen with children. I've been part of miracles with children. And remember, this that we're talking about today, miracles do happen, and it's time to have more miracles, and it's time to share the miracles, and it's time to believe in miracles and have faith in the miracles for what you want. These children, they believe. Little shining faces in the midst of all of that. They believe. They imagine. They're so grateful. They say thank you. Gracias, Madre. I bless you all. If I had my greatest wish and desire, the heavens would open over your lives. I pray for open heavens in your life, the angels to come, the angels to come and fill your homes and to come into your dreams and bless you. Share this live with other people, because it is a message of hope, and it is a message of grace, and it is a message that miracles do happen. I've lived a full life, and a lot of it was full of miracles. Part of it was full of suffering, goes along with the territory of being human, but a lot of it was full of miracles. Hola, Shakti Devi, my sister. I bless you. I do have, I think it's 2 more Pay What You Can intuitive readings. Get me a message right away, because once they're gone, they're gone. I still have the New Year's 2024 candles, wealth blessings. I think I have 3 of those left. That's about all I can handle. And I will be sharing a little bit more about the very individual, very quick, very potent coaching that I'm doing 2 or 3 sessions the most, because the sitters have called me to touch the hundreds and thousands of people. And I pray that wherever you are in the world, that you are touching and giving with loving compassion, and that you're able to receive exactly what you need, exactly that miracle that you need, that you're receiving it now, you're receiving it now, you're receiving it now, and that your spirit goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher as we transition from this age to the new golden age that's upon us. I bless you. Amen, amen, amen.